I think it's a real challenge for organizations that provide the tool set and the support for moving to cloud, like Veritas. An organization like Veritas has got some great technologies, and particularly in the information space that we know is going to be important in the future, where there is a lack in many organizations of the tools necessary to manage information, both at the deep technical level, but also in the way it's exploited. So, where does your redundant data sit? Who's responsible for it? How is it managed? And so on. I think the problem, though, and the challenge for organizations supplying services like Veritas is supporting the client in understanding how to use those tools. So I think Veritas needs to work with its partners, with its clients, not just in understanding the tool sets and the sophistication of the tools that Veritas has got, but also working with the CIOs and their team on how can they use that in practice? What do they need to do around information governance, information management, helping them to make the case to the board for why investment in information management is vital to the business in the future. GDPR is a case in point. The General Data Protection regulations that are coming out of the EU will apply in 2018, will apply to all organizations. At the moment, what I am seeing in the public sector is a lack of awareness in general and a bit of a waiting game in practice. The waiting game comes from questions that I've heard, such as, will it apply? It's an EU regulation. With Brexit, surely we're not going to need to worry about it at all. We've got the Data Protection Act in the UK. Do we need anything else? And the answer to that is, well, my view is absolutely we will need this. It will apply to all organizations that are holding personal data. And many of the aspects of GDPR are very positive in terms of citizens being in more control of their data, more responsibility about how we use that data, how we can identify what we hold and how we hold it, and how we can release it back to the public. But I do think the trick is turning this from seen as a bureaucratic Brussels overhead and another regulation and a bit of red tape into an opportunity to manage our data better. So my view is that there is a role, particularly for CIOs, but also working with legal departments, data protection officers, to support the board in coming up with a coherent plan for GDPR, which looks at the business opportunities, not just a tick box compliance activity. Because many of the things that GDPR expects organizations to do, I think we're going to need to do anyway. If you look at an area like care services, in future, we will need to be in much more control of our care record. We will want to know what organizations are holding about us, and we will expect to be able to make a choice about how that data is shared. Now, for that to happen, you do need more sophistication in your information management. And that lies at the heart, actually, of what GDPR is about. So turn it from a regulation overhead into an information opportunity.